Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another session or lesson, I should call it. So, we're not going to be wasting much time today. Just to save time on the clock, I've already written everything that I was supposed to talk about in this lecture, in this lesson, right? So, we've already done most of the things, right? And now I think it is time for us to speed up, right? Now, look. So, what we're going to be doing today is or are tree diagrams. Okay. Now look, what is a tree diagram? Simple. If I was to put it simply, every time you want to represent probabilities, I mean, there are different ways you can represent probabilities. You've got, probability, 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 distribution tables, right? And then, yeah, that's one thing. You've got probability distribution tables, you've got simple tables. Now, what do I mean by simple tables? You will know maybe in the next lecture or so. And I mean, there are different ways of representing probabilities, and tree diagrams are just one of them, right? And honestly, there's no rocket science in that. It's just that you read the question and then you draw the diagram as you read the question. It's something kind of like that, but you do need to be able to extract all of the crucial information from the question, right? All the data you need in order for you to be able to make a tree diagram. Let's say, let me give you an example. Let's just not focus on the question. Let's say, if it rains, let's say tomorrow is Tuesday, right? Tomorrow isn't Tuesday, but I'm just going to give an example. Let's say tomorrow is Tuesday. And in that case, if tomorrow rains, if it rains, then I will eat spaghetti. If it doesn't rain, no rain, I will eat a pasta, right? It's just something kind of like that, right? This kind of thing is it's something that you call a tree diagram. It's just that instead of writing just rain and no rain, we're also going to write the probabilities of the rain weather. This is why we call it a tree diagram or probability tree diagram. Now, you might have noticed one thing. Instead of giving you what a tree diagram is conceptually and stuff, I'm literally throwing a question at you directly without telling you exactly what a tree diagram is. The reason being, it's just common sense. It's not a thing that you're going to find in some kind of special note so that you can ace your exam. Honestly, never mind. It's simple. It's conceptual, and I don't really think there's much to be explained. You're just going to learn it the way I solve this question, right? Now, look, the probability that it will rain on any chosen day is 0.11. So now let's just start with writing the data that has been given to us, right? And the data that we're going to infer from the data that's been given to us. Okay? Now look, the probability that it will rain is 0.1. Now remember, sorry, 0.11. And I told you that probability is always going to be or equal to greater than 1, sorry, less than 1, less than or equal to 1, and greater than or equal to 0, right? So, yep, the probability is in range. Now, look, every time you know the probability of something, while drawing a tree diagram, you must also know, rather, I should say, you must also know the probability of that event not happening. So, if the probability that it will rain on any chosen day is 0.11, then the probability that it won't rain should be, look, no rain should be 1 minus 0.11, right? And that is going to be 0.89. So the probability for rain is 0.11 and the probability of it not raining is 0.89, right? This this wasn't given to us in the question, but we inferred it. So it was something very much simple, right? So we have these two pieces of data. Now look, if it rains, the probability that Sarah, yes, I like this name. I'm not going to tell you why. the probability that Sarah goes to school by bus is 0.7. If it doesn't rain, the probability that Sarah goes to school by bus is 0.6. Now, all that we have got to do is draw a tree diagram to represent the possibilities, right? Now, let me just do some kind of rough working, right? If it rains, the probability is 0.11. If it doesn't rain, no rain, right? It would be 0.89, right? Now, look, if it rains, Sarah goes to school by bus, right? And its probability is 0.7. Well, then I must also write she wouldn't go school by bus, and the probability of her not going school by bus would be 0.3. You see what I just did there? You know what? I kind of messed this up. I should write bus here and no bus over here. 0.7 is the probability that she will go to school by bus if it rains. That's 0.7. And the opposite of this, that she doesn't go school by bus, would be 0.3. You see what I just did there? I just did 1 minus 0.7 and that gives you 0.3. This is exactly what I did over here as well, right? Exactly what I did over here as well. See? Now, let's do it here. What if it doesn't rain? If it doesn't rain, the probability that she will still use the bus to go to school is, look, if it doesn't rain, the probability that Sarah goes to school by bus is 0.6. So that would be 0.6, right? And again, once you write the fact that she is not going school by bus, the fact that you're going to write that she goes to school by bus, you must have also, you must also write the opposite for that, or the complement as we call it, right? That would be 0.4. Now, you again see what I just did there. 1 minus 0.6 gives you 0.4. That's exactly what I did, right? Dude, this is a tree diagram. Literally. I mean, this is a tree diagram. So there was no extremely conceptual stuff that is extremely hard for you to know. It was just something this simple. I literally just said I was going to do some rough working, and this was my rough working. I mean, this is the answer, you know. But honestly, this is not how you write it. The orientation is kind of different. The reason why I did it differently was just so that I can show you this is a tree diagram. It's as simple as this. You've just got to mention all of the probabilities and the opposite of all of the probabilities with them, and it's kind of like a visual map for the probabilities, right? Now, if I was to, you know what, let's just keep it the way it is. I'm not going to destroy my entire effort or my hard work, right? If I was to draw it the right way, this is how you draw a tree diagram. Rains, no rain, 0.11, 0.89, right? If it doesn't rain, she might go to school by bus, or she might not go to school by bus. And the same two scenarios we have if it doesn't rain. She might take the bus and she might not take the bus, right? So for the bus, it's going to be 0.7, 0.3, 0.6 and 0.4. Now this is a tree diagram. Now look, this looks way cleaner. This is why we write it this way, because this is just how we write it. Okay. Now look, another thing. That was all about the tree diagram. Now, how are they going to test stuff? Maybe they would sometimes give you a tree diagram and they would not give you certain probabilities. You know what? I would rather just copy this entire thing, copy and paste it here. This is what they do to you sometimes. They would give you the tree diagram, right? And they would write something like this, like they would give you boxes, let's say, they would give you boxes and they would ask you to fill out these boxes. Now you have enough data to do it, right? In order for you to find this, you can call it X, right? X, or let's just not call it X. This box is equal to 1 minus 0.4. That gives you 0.6. You know, you filled it up. This is exactly what you're going to do with the first box as well. Sorry, what did I just do? Hey, never mind. Now look, 1 minus 0.89, and that gives you a 0.11. They would sometimes give you an X over here and they would ask you to find the X, or they would do stuff like this, right? This is how they tease you. This is just how they test tree diagrams, right? Probability tree diagrams. This is just as simple as this and nothing more than that. It was this simple. This is what a tree diagram is, you know. So I think that would be it for this video. In the next one, we are going to look at simple tables, right? When you're doing, you know what, let's just leave that for the next lecture, okay? Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.